Where the heck are we at now?
Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Holy Jennifer Jupiter's baby.
Long day.
This is a Bob and Tam show, and welcome to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
There you go. On the way home. 10-hour day. That was pretty long. So I guess he can hear himself.
Just checking to see if we had internet and if we had sound and all that good stuff. I know this is like scheduled. We just, we haven't had any videos coming out this week. We just want to let everybody know we are still alive.
I had a few people text and say, are you still there?
And but I mean, we're traveling home. We should be estimated in
Arizona.
By maybe Friday night at the latest, at the earliest, Saturday afternoon, the earliest. So we'll see how it all turns out. So
there's G. Retham. How you guys doing?
Go. And welcome to the show today. And like I say, some of you may be coming on. We're going to talk a little bit about Sturgis. We made some phone calls today, got some stuff set up here in the next few weeks we're going to be talking about. We found some more information out about Sturgis, some of the things that are going on. Talk about that. We're going to also do a little quick thing on some of the rallies we've done so far, what's going on, and tell you what we've done on this trip. And so that's what we're going to be doing tonight. So it's a little later than we normally come on because we just got here. And so we're here at the world famous Mickey D's in Oklahoma, right downtown. We're hoping that the bums don't come knocking on the door tonight. We've never stayed in a downtown area before, but we'll see how this all turns out. And so we got all the important things out of the truck in case some crazy person. Yep, we got Sturgis news we're going to be talking about. And so just got to give a few minutes for a few people to get in before we jump right into what's going on. So if you're new to our channel and you haven't been here before, we've actually started out our channel a little different now when we do our videos, because we're basically telling you if you come to our channel and you're interested in a motorcycle rally, you're wanting to get all the most pertinent information, we are the people to come to. And everybody says it. Doesn't matter if you're another YouTuber or if you're a business, or right now we have promoters coming after us now. We're going to talk a little bit tonight about 2 rallies we may be showing up at. We're in the process of working on adding for this year yet. So we're going to talk a little bit about that before we get out of here tonight. So we'll talk a little bit about Sturgis, since we kind of, I actually have this on the Sturgis page too. So we contacted several people today. The city, the Black Hills Harley, the Indian dealer, all of them are going to be coming on our channel in the next 2 weeks to give you guys updates of what's going on. Some of the things that we're finding out, the Buffalo Chip seems to be right on schedule with all the work that they're doing. Can't talk. Okay, so we'll see how that works. So the Buffalo Chips are all on schedule. We just talked to him yesterday, and what he says, Rod says, everything's on schedule. The temperature's kind of warming up a little bit, and they're getting the crews out there to get the work done needed for this year's rally. Went down wrong.
So Mark W. said, hey, you two, did you get that tape? Did you tape up that tire back up? Did you post anything on there? Did you do a short?
I haven't done anything yet. Yeah, I told you we were at the tire store. We'll finish doing Sturgis, and then we'll talk about some of the stuff that's happened on this trip. So what else we find out about Sturgis? Talking to the city, they may not, we've been talking about this all along because the city announced it back in October that they were going to have street racing of motorcycles on Main Street. Well, after talking to them today, sounds like it may not happen. We haven't got a definite no, but they found out because of the people and they got to build all these fancy barricades and all this stuff. And it's really going to be hard to do overnight, because that's the idea. The street's going to be open on Friday for bikes. And then come Saturday morning, it's going to be ready to go for 2 blocks on Main Street. And then they were going to go 1 block one way or the other way out.
I think they were going to go up to Sherman. So they didn't know what first, second, third, they know what they're going to do.
They had thought about going on to LaSalle Street, but they did that, used to do that on dirt racing. But 1 year at
Not during Sturgis. Yeah, it was another event.
Yeah. So they're trying to figure out what they're going to do. They made the big announcement. I think they're still trying to get it going. We have talked to one other person in the city and see how that all turns out. And we'll give you a little bit more information about that. heads up for those people that are interested in Sturgis. We will be starting our series next week on Sturgis. If you're new to Sturgis, you're not sure where to go, you're still looking for a campground, you're still doing whatever you're doing. I don't even know. Hey, I'm going to Sturgis the first time. I don't even know what the heck I'm going to be doing. Well, we're going to help you out. There's a lot of people out here that tell you they can do it. The difference between us and everybody else is we are going to help you out. We are going to arrive on July 19th in the Sturgis. So the first weekend there is the bike adventure weekend. That's at the Buffalo Chip. So if you've got a Pan American or a Triumph or a BMW or whatever you got, you just got a dirt bike, you can bring it out there and they go out on all these trails, and it's a really great time. It's going to be the third year. It's Revzilla puts it on, and these just compared from the first year to last year, it was 100 times better than it ever was before. Last year I think we had close to 300 bikes there, and you can camp on there's a whole deal. You can go to just type in Adventure Bike Week in Sturgis and it'll come up, and you can find out all the information if you're interested in checking that out. So that's one of the other things. So we'll be there. So then once that's over on Sunday, Monday, we start doing our day-to-day beating the trail, giving you guys all the current information, talking about the hotels. We'll be stopping by the campgrounds, all this stuff. So we're going to be giving you a lot of information. So even if you've been to Sturgis, just like us, we spend anywhere from 30 to 50 days in Sturgis these last 3 years. It'll be the 4th year that we've been in Sturgis and spent this much time. And so what we want to do is make sure you guys have all the pertinent information. Like I said, there's a lot of people out here going to give you their opinion, but the difference between us, this is what we do. We're all about giving you guys great information. Also, we try to make things happen. We try to help people out. We actually have a wedding. The mayor of Sturgis is going to be performing a wedding for one of our subscribers on opening day on Friday. So you want to make sure you're there. We'll be all involved with all the stuff that's going to be going on Friday and Saturday there. We are going to be on the Chips property the whole time. We'll be doing live remotes from there. We'll be giving you all the great information on the Chip, everything that's going to be happening. We'll give you everything up to that point, what's going on. We'll have a lot of videos after the fact about Topless Tuesday and some of the other events that are going on out in Sturgis. We have other film crews that are going to come out with us, and we're going to be filming a lot of stuff. We've actually got, I think I got 6 people now that are coming out for a film crew that's going to be helping us off and on throughout the rally. And be filming the excitement, and also for all you Patreon people, we got the Patreon. We got the Patreon Pro of professional videography and photography. He did the Topless Tuesday last year, and this year he's gonna be doing. He's actually gonna spend 4 days with us, so we're gonna have a lot of really great stuff. He's good at it. He had a great time at Topless Tuesday. He stayed like 3 hours after it was over with all the girls and stuff. And we'll have more of that. A hard drive crash, and that'll be another story later on as we get on this. But I just want to kind of get the Sturgis stuff because we put this on the Sturgis feed page today. And so the Sturgis feed page is my page. So if you're on there watching this the first time, the 83rd, we're the ones that are running that page. I have a lot of people helping me on that. We have a lot of our subscribers that are actually there. I have a lot of monitors, and I have one more administrator that we have on the page there to help me, and it's been done really good. We're keeping off all the spam. We're keeping off all the crazy stuff. We're not gonna get into Budweiser and all that stuff. We're gonna delete that stuff off the page. It is what it is. Everybody knows what's going on, and we're not gonna argue about that, and we're not gonna say viewpoints and that. These corporate companies always do stupid stuff. And if you relied on, if you're gonna do your business based on what they do, you're not gonna buy from anybody. Even here at McDonald's, they're doing crazy stuff. Target did some crazy stuff. If you've been watching the news, we just heard that on the news today. But I mean, these stores are all these companies are just trying to, it's just a whole crazy world that we're in.
July 19th is when we're getting to Sturgis.
But what I look at is just like Budweiser. People say, well, I'm not going to the rally. Hey, why not us? Instead of us spending money with Budweiser, why don't we take their money? And that's exactly what we're doing when we go to a rally. They're sponsoring, they're putting all their money up, they're trying to get people to come to it. If you don't want to drink Bud Light, that's your business. We did see at this people are asking that question too. What do we see? We don't see a lot of Bud Light cans when we're in bars and stuff like that, the places we've been. We have seen, last rally I counted in SBB, I think I seen 4 cans. I did see a lot of Michelob Ultra people were drinking, and so Anheuser-Busch owns a lot of companies. So I think they're learning a hard lesson right now about what they've done. But I mean, if you don't want to buy from them, that's great. But I wouldn't not go to a rally because they're putting their money into it. Who cares?
Well,
Because
and you
with
have to remember too, even bad publicity is still publicity.
That's right.
So everybody's talking about it, getting their name out, talking about Bud Light, blah, 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 blah. So the more you talk about it, the more it promotes their business. So,
And they'll make it'll all work out here sooner or later because they it's like I say, they figured out they've done wrong. And people are like, oh, Harley Davidson put their name on the can. You know, they probably decided to do that a year ago. So it wasn't something they decided last week. And you can't say stop because they already made a deal with Harley Davidson, either probably bought into it. And so if they would just say, quit, we're not going to make those cans, they'd have to destroy all those cans. Harley would lose all that money. Hey, I'm okay with that. I'll even buy one of those cans, put it on my shelf in my bar because it'd be a good thing to remember how it happens down the road. Never know. Bud Light might discontinue it. You know, you just don't know. And that can with the Harley emblem on it, about 10, 15 years from now, could be worth a lot of money. So hey, why not make more profit off of them too? Why us doing it? So, you know, good and bad about it. What you drink is your business. We're not big drinkers anyway. We don't really, well, we did have some Dos Equis the other night when we were at Twin Peaks. It was 29 degrees. And so we both had two there. And but other than that, that's about all we drank since we had the rallies. We don't really drink most time, just for me and you. Most of the time when you go, especially when we used to go to the Full Throttle, you get over there and you get a beer out of the tub and it's warm. The aluminum can is ice cold. You open it up, you chug it, and it's like, oh man, this stuff's like piss water. And it's like there's not cold or nothing. And it's the can is because they didn't ice it up the night before. But and then they're bringing it out hot, putting it in there. And a lot of the bars do that. You guys probably have seen that too. So it's not a big deal. But the whole idea of what we wanted to come on tonight is just to tell you that we've got some great interviews that we're going to be doing here in the next 2 weeks. They actually already start on the 2nd or the 3rd of June. And they won't be live. We're actually going to satellite them, put it in the editing system, and redo it. And so you will come on when we do them, so you guys can, you know, if you have questions and things like that, we can help you answer those. Or if there's something, but that's one of the things that we specialize in. We take great pride, and most of you that have been with our channel for a while, we just stayed with a couple last night, and that's what they said. There is nobody in this world that works as hard as you guys do for your YouTube channel. And we do, we really do enjoy what we do. I love to help people and I love to make things happen. And now it's getting that way. Just to let you know, it looks like right now, it's not all finalized yet. It looks like we're going to hit the OC bike rally in Maryland. Looks like that's on the agenda now. And also Pikes Blues and Barbecue. Both of those she's been on the phone yesterday and today, and it looks like it's almost there. So those look like they're
got to work out all the little final details.
So we're still waiting on the last thing. The difference is going to be we're flying in. So it looks like in Ocean City, we're not going to rent a bike. We're not going to have a motorcycle unless somebody gives us one. But we got a place to stay. We got comped on that. We got a transportation to be comped on us. And so it looks like it's looking pretty good. But there's really no riding there. But we want to, this is one of these things, we want to go to it so we can talk about it, just like Laconia. I have no interest in going to Laconia again. Now, if somebody is like, here, I had no interest in really going to Ocean City either, but things fell into place. People contacted us, said, hey, let's do this. Let's make this happen. So we're
working on it.
Yeah, we're all for it. Then what we're going to do is turn around and fly from there because the next weekend is Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue in Arkansas. So we're flying into Springfield, Missouri, and driving up in a car, and we're working on right now getting a motorcycle there. We got a couple people that are supposed to be letting us know because that's a big rally for great riding. And I'm gonna spend a lot of time and give a lot of great information on that. We won't be showing up there probably till Monday, and then the rally starts on Thursday.
Yeah, I think so. Wednesday, Thursday. Jeff's on there.
Wow.
What day does it start? I think it's
Thursday. So what we're going to be doing there and Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue is we've got great contacts there now to where we're going to be end up having, we'll be meeting with the city, we'll be meeting with the chief of police, we'll be meeting with the dealership. So we're going to have some really great interviews before you get there. And same thing like we've done, like in Myrtle Beach. We had so many people come to us in Myrtle Beach and say, wow, you got the first time I hit your video and you said, hey, stay around here and you'll show me what I need to know. And you did. You showed us where the vendors were at. You showed us where the bars were at. You told us what was going on. So by the time we got there, we had our plan. And that's what we want to do for you. No matter what rally or event you're at, we want to make sure you have the best time possible. So that's one of the things, like I say, on these two events that we're adding, that's what's so important with Bike Exclusion Barbecue. To me, it's like a mini Sturgis, because it's got those things that I talk about, good riding. It's not like Sturgis, but it's pretty close. They got some really great places to ride. And we just seen a couple when we're driving. We just passed it up on the highway, and we seen a couple things. There's a couple great roads and stuff. So I'm going to get the map out, and I'm going to mark some stuff out. And we know a few people there, and they're going to help us out and tell us stuff. And we're going to talk about those rides and stuff. And hopefully it'll all work out to where maybe the first day or two, I can get out there on the bike and ride around and check out some of these, film some of them for you. So before you get there, we can say, hey, nobody knows the Pig Trail ride, but there's other ones out there too. There's a lot of really great rides. There's a lot of curvy roads, fun stuff. That's what I like. What else makes those kind of rallies good is the people. The people that go to those rallies are great people too. It's like going to Sturgis, but it's, like I say, a smaller version. The other thing you get is the people that live there are great people too, because they're small town people. They're different, just like Sturgis. That's one of the reasons I like it, because the people are honest. You talk to them and they look you in the eye, and and you there's just the respect is there, and I love that. That's part of what I love about going to rallies. And we do the East Coast. Most of you know about Daytona. It's a flip flop in a short town of riding around on motorcycles. And we should show one of those videos of those girls after they fell off the bike, and they're scarred for the rest of their life from their toes to the top of their head, because they had like a little tube top on, they had little skimpy shorts on, and you go sliding down the road, you're going to get some serious road rash. And especially if you're a girl, you're more concerned about that. A guy gets a few road rash, and it's like, it's a tough mark. But on a woman, that's part of their charm is their beauty. So that's, and we see that. We've seen it in Myrtle Beach. We've seen it in Panama City. Daytona, of course, is the king of it. And then Myrtle's probably second, and then Panama City's third. And Laconia, I don't remember that much about Laconia, but it's not really a beach town, so I don't think we've seen this.
It's on a lake. It's not on the ocean.
There was a lot of crotch rocket, a lot more than you would see at any other event. So that's kind of like that. But we're looking at like Ocean City. The reason we want to do Ocean City is just for the idea of, I've been there, done that, I'm done with it. And I feel that we probably won't go back again. It seems like it's more of a vendor rally. I think they're telling us there's 400 vendors there. There's some great bars, but we're hearing they cover charge, where we got somebody else working on them to get us some passes, and hopefully we can film in there on a couple of these two big bars that are down there. There's a big boardwalk, so we'll kind of show you what it is. If you've never been there and you want to think about it, might be something you might want to go to someday. So we're going to end up covering that too. So those are a couple of things we're going to be adding in this year. It's almost everything's finalized. We just got a couple of things on each one of those adventures to make sure it's all done. And we'll be talking to you about that. We are looking still for sponsors. We did really good. Myrtle Beach now. We are there next year. One of our subscribers on here, Jeffrey.
No, Michael Adams.
Sorry, bad name. This name's
Michael.
And his last name was Adams.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to call him Adam.
He lives. I know. We know a lot of Adam. He lives up in Pennsylvania, and his business is Firestock Solutions Incorporated.
And he's going to give us some information to talk about his business and stuff.
We'll tell you a little more about it.
Yeah, so we'll know a little more about what he does. But he went ahead and took care of the campground for next year in Myrtle Beach. So we'll be down there again next year. This year was a little slow. And
somebody asked on Myrtle Beach, what's your, how would you rate it 1 to 10?
This year or in general?
This year.
About a 5. Well, the problem with this year with Myrtle Beach is, and we'll do a video on it. We still got a couple of videos we got to finish. We got a whole bunch of fun stuff we did at Suck Bang Blow. That's not up yet. We met a lot of other people that I haven't got the videos up for that. We've just been so freaking busy, and then we're traveling. We got to get home too. So we've got so what she felt. What screwed it up to start with is it fell on Mother's Day weekend.
The first weekend was Mother's Day weekend.
The only people that I feel that were there the first weekend was locals. Overall, most of the vendors that we talked to all said they did really, really well. On that, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday still wasn't much going on. You know, I was thinking the whole time, you know, this weekend it's going to be crazy, crazy, crazy.
It rained.
Thursday it rained all day. It wasn't until about 9 o'clock that night it finally got down to where, you know, and it sprinkled off and on. That was our day. We jumped in the truck, we did laundry, and we went to Walmart and get our shopping done, and we did some other errands.
It was a good day to do it.
And we filmed a
Sounds
trike, getting a fat tire, which we'll be showing that soon too. And so we got some things done, and we didn't do a whole lot. Friday is when we went down to the Beaver Bar. Went down to we got a bunch of videos from Speeds. We're going to be talking about cams on the new 131. We're going to talk about. I had some guys ask about a welded crank. We got a video on that, and I forget what the other video's on.
Exhaust.
Oh yeah, exhaust. What's the best exhaust for a tuner? Somebody that tunes thousands of bikes a year. What's the best
exhaust? Basic gas.
That's right. And I would, after 28 years, I would go with that because they got the dyno and all that. So we got 3 videos that are going to come out. They're going to be shorter ones. But I see these videos all the time. People put out and they're like, oh, you should do this and you should do that. You know, I can tell you a lot of things that I would recommend, but maybe,
expert.
Yeah, I don't do hundreds, thousands of these jobs. So I like when we get to the veterans bikes, you'll see more stuff that I'll be doing. Adam's going to be coming out in January. We're going to rebuild a twin V-twin engine. We're going to rebuild one of those for video. He's going to come out and spend a week or 2 with us and do a bunch of fun stuff. And we'll have a combo of videos together that we'll be showing some fun things that we're going to be doing together. That's going to happen sometime in January. So by then, hopefully, we'll have a lot of the shop done. And we also picked up with Emery's help, Emery HVAC. We got our furnace, our heat pump. We got our 5-ton air conditioner, and we got our big giant split unit. It's like this freaking big, and it's not like what you buy at Home Depot. It's a big commercial unit.
Sure, it'll keep that off at school.
Yeah. So hopefully, we think we might be able to get him to come back in October and help me put it in, because I've got to build the bathroom first, so we can put the unit. The heat unit's going to be on top of the bathroom, the blower and all that. It's going to be up there, and then the compressor will be outside. The compressor will be outside. And then I got to finish the wiring so we can wire it up. So hopefully by October, we're hoping by the time we get back after Sturgis, we'll be able to start on that in September. I'll be able to get all that miscellaneous stuff done. So by the 1st of October, he'll come out and I would probably say in his case, probably a day or 2, he'll be done with it. Probably get it done pretty quick because he does the same thing. Another guy does hundreds of them.
An expert.
Yeah, an expert. And I could probably do it, but I'd rather have somebody help me. And which I'll have a lot of it already set up. You know, I'll have the furnace up there, and I'll have he's got to help me with it. We got to find somebody that will bend the ductwork for us. We're just going to have one plumbum's coming out of the furnace, but I have to have a place to put the filter and all that, for the return air, which I need to have it down on the floor. So I got to get somebody to do a little ductwork for me. So, but overall,
we have a brother-in-law that used to do that.
Yeah, but he doesn't. I don't think you can.
He probably doesn't have the equipment to do it.
He probably does, but he'd have to drag all that crap out. And then if I wouldn't want to drag it home. So we're going to go there at the end in July 4th. We're going to be back there. Then we'd have to put all that in and drag it to Sturgis with us. Wouldn't that be fun?
The Tomcat said it looked like the Myrtle Beach rally looked pretty calm, and he said he'd take a calm rally over anything. That's what he was saying. I think that first weekend was Mother's Day, and I think a lot of people didn't come. And like you said, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was really slow. Thursday it rained. Friday,
I think Friday was the busiest day. We were down there, like I said, we'd be down at Speeds when I was talking about all those videos we did. And on about 2 o'clock, every parking lot was sold out. You could not find a place to park. You had to ride up and down, and we park at Speeds. We cheat. And so we walked from there and up to Suck Bang Blow. And to me, this year, now this is my opinion from when we were there, the Beaver Bar was way more crowded than Suck Bang Blow was. Now, we didn't end up staying for Jackal, and I seen some pictures that Jesse put up, and yeah, and somebody in a band canceled the wet t-shirt contest. Not happy about that. And I'm not going to throw the guy under the bus, but we're going to talk to him when we get to Sturgis.
Yeah.
So that might tell you already who it is. But I'm going to talk to him and tell him, you screwed up my day. We had that all planned for our Patreon people, and a lot of people there were there too for it. And we'll talk to him first before I say any more about it. But we weren't very happy about it.
Yeah, because we went there specifically to get that.
That's
because
right.
We didn't really have a whole lot to put on Patreon. And
we went to the Rat Hole, and Rat Hole's supposed to get pretty good at night. You got to stay there till freaking midnight before the place finally gets things going. They start out with the biker games, and they were supposed to be over at 8 o'clock. They were supposed to do the pudding wrestling, which I really didn't care about the pudding wrestling. I seen some of the videos; they weren't that impressive. So we were there more for the contest they have inside. They have pole dancing and wet tea and a whole bunch of different stuff. We thought we'd get that for Patreon people. So it's 8:30 now, and I'm like, so we're sitting in the bar, got a good seat up front, and we're eating some peanuts. We bought some peanuts and eating those. And I'm like, I'm gonna go outside and see what they're doing. They're still playing this stupid game, throwing the balloons over the bar. And he's like, we got 3 more games to go, and then stay tuned for the pudding wrestling. You're already 30 minutes late. I would say they probably didn't do the pudding wrestling until 10:30 on Friday night. And it's like, no, I ain't hanging around anymore. So we left. And but we know some other YouTubers that were there, and they said if you stayed really late with, I think they said they were there. Well, they said the Beaver Bar was better. The wet teas on Beaver Bar Friday night went on till like 2 in the morning, and it was wild and crazy. And they said it was really, really good.
They said it was worth going.
Yeah.
And it's like,
So maybe I can
stay
talk
up
to
that
him and
late.
send him giving me some footage.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. And we can put on the Patreon for some of you guys. So that's kind of a rundown of.
Like W said, they had a wet t-shirt contest at the senior center, and it wasn't fun.
A lot of guys had wet tees when they were riding their bikes in the rain without the rain
That was
gear.
a lot, yeah.
A lot of guys. It's you know, the more we go to these rallies, and I never really noticed it till Professional Monkey, the Monkey Man, when he started talking about guys not, driving down the street with their feet down. Well, the more I ride now and the more I look around, I see a whole lot of people that shouldn't really be coming to rallies. And you might go, "What do you mean? Why can't I?" We're gonna do a video on it too and talk a little bit about it. But I mean, if you don't know how to ride in bumper to bumper traffic, you shouldn't come to a rally. I see more people shaking their hands and everything at stop signs and stuff, and it's like, dude, don't you ride in traffic? We don't even ride a bike that much anymore, and I don't really see me shaking my hand anymore. Well, I never did. I don't know if I did when I was a kid or not. I don't know. But we rode in a lot of traffic. Well, we rode in LA.
When I got my street glide, I did, because that clutch was really tight.
And but you never did it with your throttle.
No, not my fault.
And so it's when you watch a lot of these people. Well, also we had a lot of trouble when you go to, well, even like Myrtle Beach. You're at Myrtle Beach and you're trying to get out from the dealerships, either one of those 2 lots. You got to get your butt in gear and go. And the long, it's like you could have went. Go down. Go down. Then here's the car coming down the road, and the guy's sitting there. When the car is about 100 yards away from him or 50 feet away from him, now he pulls right out in front of him and doesn't even get on the gas. And I'm like, you had the time that you would have went earlier, you would have got out and had no trouble. But now you're going to wait to the last minute and you hesitate. It's like, should I go? Should I go? Okay, now I'm going to go. Well, it's too late now, dude. You're lucky you didn't get killed. But I mean, it's, and I'm not saying you shouldn't go to a rally, but there's times that it's just like I talk about the rides. And I would recommend this for anybody. If you're going to Sturgis and you're going to be there during the week of Sturgis, you get your butts out of bed and be at the main rides by 8 o'clock. You go down to Spearfish Canyon on Friday or Saturday, Sunday, and you get down there at 10 or 11 o'clock. Ain't much fun in it. You're just going to roll along. That's a whole lot of fun, ain't it? Well, we get up normally at 7 o'clock. We head over to the ride by 8 o'clock. We're on the entrance of the Iron Mountain or Needles Highway or whatever it is. Because most of you drank all damn night and you're drunk and you can't get out of bed till 10 or 11. And then by the time you get there, it's about 1 a.m. or 1 p.m. And when you get to the tunnel, you got to sit in line because there's 20 other freaking people standing there. And there's 100 on the other side trying to get through. And they stop in the tunnel. You got the people with the cars taking pictures. And it's like, we don't deal with any of that because we get up early and do our rides. And because because you never know, just like this year, it could be hot again. It was 105 last year, just about every freaking day during the rally. But if you went out in the morning, we were very comfortable. We didn't get hot till after 12 o'clock, we'd roll in the Deadwood. And it was like, oh my gosh, the Black Hills, you get up in the hills, it's a whole lot cooler than it is down on the road. And those are the days you don't want to be going out to the Badlands or Devil's Tower because it's going to be hotter than hell. You want to get the same thing. If you want to go out there, get your butts up early in the morning and ride out there. Get up early enough because it's all highway. Get up there early enough and you can go out and see the sunrise.
They say it's beautiful. I didn't see the sunrise or the sunset.
I've never done it. Might do it someday, but not on our agenda this next year either. But there's a lot of great things to do at a rally. And people always say that, which we have. We've talked to a bunch of people, we talked to a couple this weekend that weren't going to go to Sturgis. Now they're thinking about going to Sturgis. This year for us, it's going to be a really big time for us because we've got the Buffalo chip. We got a lot of things planned, everything, especially the first weekend, Friday and Saturday. We got a lot of events going on that we're going to be involved in. If you like our channel, you want a chance to meet us, this is going to be the time to catch us. It's Friday and Saturday for sure. We're both going to be at the chip all day long and all these events. We're going to have a barbecue on Saturday, and we'll be giving details of that soon. Waiting for the caterer to call us. Then we got to call our sponsor. We have a sponsor that wants to sponsor us, but I don't want to mention his name yet until I send him to tell him how much it's going to cost and see if he still wants to do it or not. We're going to have barbecue from JR's. And so we'll just see how that all works out. And hopefully we'll get somebody that owns the chip. I don't know who that guy is to give us a keg of beer. And we'll see how that goes. And
so Lifer Nave 33 says he has a vest made from a jean jacket, U.S. Navy patch in the middle, in the back, and has a lot of patches and places that he was assigned. So would this be called a cut, and will it not be allowed to Sturgis?
No, you have to have the rocker. The biggest thing is when you have the rocker on the bottom and it says the
Where
city.
you're from.
It says Sacramento, California, or it says Oakland, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. That's what really gets you in trouble. But typically, if you have, like we put on the back of ours, it is like a logo of Bob and Tam. It's a big circle, and it says Bob and Tam on the top. That's not a cut. And
a cut has to be the patch in the middle,
the rocker on top and the rocker on the bottom.
Yeah, whatever the name of the group is called, and then where you're from on the bottom.
Yeah. And then usually you have MC on one side. Sometimes they'll have 1%er on the other side if it's a 1% group. So that's kind of what they do a cut. But now some places, like for instance, like a Harley vest, if you got a cut, which we have cuts for, and we're gonna take them in Milwaukee with us for Hog Group, and those are still considered cuts. So a lot of times, even the veteran ones, if you've got a veteran one and it's got the patch in the middle and the rocker on top and the bottom, typically that is a cut too, because you've got all the right things on it. So if you're going into a bar that says no cuts, no colors, those are typically colors too. Now, some people will argue that, but I always say if I'm a bar owner, you have to stop all of them, because to me that's a lawsuit. If you let the Harley guy come in with his full cuts on, but yet the
Hells Angels,
the HA can't come in with theirs, that's actually
discrimination.
That's right. So most of them say it's everything. Now I've heard some places when we were in Myrtle Beach, when we talked to a few people, they let the military ones in, but you should say none on none. And so a lot of things, like for instance,
no means no, right?
The Harley one actually is a corporate one. There's other ones. Baca's another one. There's a lot of the clubs are actually corporate patches, because if you want to become a true motorcycle club, there's a ritual you have to go to. You have to find out who, like for instance, in Arizona, we have to go to the HA. We'd have to go and ask. Well, actually, I sat down with one because I said, I want to know how this works. If and so I went through it and he told me all the stuff I had to do and all the stuff. And I'm like, okay, sounds pretty good. Okay. And he goes, when do you want to start? I'm like, what do you mean? He said, when do you want to start the Bob and Tam's Motorcycle Club? I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. It's a lot of work. And no, I don't want to do that.
It's but like a 3-year process.
It's a 2-year process. 2-year process to get the patch approved. And then this, whoever you go to, they help you get it together. And then you do all the rules and all the things that need to be done, and they help you get where you need to be. So that's kind of how it works. But then it depends on where you're at. See, if you were down in Florida, you probably have to go to the Outlaws. That's kind of their territory. So it kind of depends on who the ruling club is, will determine who you have to go to. So like Baca and Harley and some of those people like that, they don't do that. So typically unless you're running your prospect, but typically if a club member sees you from HA or whatever the club is, an Outlaw, whoever they are, they see you with your Harley one on, or you see with your veteran one on, they normally don't say anything about it. It's not a big deal. Now, once in a while you get prospects, which is a whole nother book that we won't get into tonight, that where I state my information on, which is, it's not really scary, it's kind of peculiar, that we have a lot of club members that are really high up in the clubs actually watch our channel. And it's when they come up to me and I'm like, you're watching us? And they're like, yeah. Really? You're watching us? And they're like, yeah. Well, we want to see what else is going on rally. We do our club stuff, but we really don't get to go out like you guys do. And we like to see all the different things that are going on at the rallies. And I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. I like that. I'm glad you do. And so what I do in turn is it's question day. I want to know about this and I want to know about that because I want to be able to, if we talk about this, because actually clubs are watching a lot of YouTube channels and you can get into some serious trouble
If you say the wrong thing.
that's right. And they're looking for you. And there's a couple of them already that they've told us that they're kind of looking at a couple particular people that have got YouTube channels that have been sprouting stuff that they shouldn't be talking about, that they don't, I'm not a big bad biker. I never belonged to a club. I have no intentions of belonging to a club. I have learned to respect them now. I've learned a lot of things that I didn't know about them. And we'll talk about some of that one day, but that's not really tonight's agenda. It was to talk about clubs. But it's kind of interesting how they work and actually what the theory of how clubs started back in the 30s and 40s is
Respect.
yeah, and it makes sense if you understand that. It makes sense how a club runs, and it's interesting. But I don't know if all clubs run the way they're supposed to. We don't talk to a lot. I guess a lot of HAs we talk to, the Mongols and what's one of them, Sturgis.
Sons of Silence.
Sons of Silence. We got a couple of those guys are watching our channel. So we have a handful of them all over the United States that we get to run into. And some of them have been some really good people. We were supposed to get Sonny on our channel, but the darn guy died on me before he had his interview set up. It was set up, but he just died before he got to Sturgis last year. And
the second time. If
yeah.
we would have got it the first year, we would have got it.
But the club member that was going to set us up, he didn't make
He
it.
wasn't able to make it to
so
Sturgis. So he's the one that knew us. So Cliff, no Ohio this year. We're not going to Sandusky, Ohio. Joe Casey, Judy Boone's is really good. He likes their banana pudding. We went there one day. I don't know which day it was. I should have remembered this. They had pineapple pie. You know where they usually have the hot apple pie?
Well, it's actually, it's not really pie.
Pineapple cobbler.
Crumble. It's like
whatever.
crumb.
It was excellent. So we went back a couple days later and was all excited and got me a big old bowl and it was apple.
And I was happy.
I don't like it.
Pineapple was okay, but it was better than I expected. I got it and I wasn't thinking because I thought it was apple at first. I'm looking at it, I'm like, these don't look like apples. And she goes, I think you got pineapples. And I ate it. It wasn't too bad. And she got it and she's like, oh, I really like it. And I said, well, you can finish what I got.
So full. I wanted more. So I saved enough room to get it when we went back the second time. And it was apple. I'm not an apple person.
So, yeah.
So what's on the menu for Mickey D's tonight? He had a hamburger, a double cheeseburger. I got a fish sandwich. It was split fries.
There's not.
Should
I sing my song? Oh, Oklahoma, where the cows.
He kept singing that song. I said, that is not how it goes. Where the cows do something to the pigs.
That's what it sounds like the way it goes.
That's why I didn't join ARP. I didn't want to step on any toes.
So, yeah, it's.
Oh, and then somebody asked about Hog Rocks. We've never been. We probably won't go because we can't film anything here. We could go.
And she's not as wild as she used to be. Somebody used to be really wild.
Nobody ever did guess what my plate said.
Well, we never did it yet.
Mm-hmm.
We got them in the garage.
I had personalized license plates on my Mustang.
Back in your stripper days.
Miami for breakfast. We went there twice too.
That's right. Great place. I would say, now we haven't ate everywhere. I would say that's probably the best place in Myrtle Beach to eat breakfast is there. So every time we've gone, we even went late the other day. It was like, what was it, 1 o'clock?
Well,
yeah, because it closed at 2.
No, it closes at 1.
Okay, so we just got there like at 12:30.
12:30.
The food was still hot. It was fresh. You know, a lot of times you go to these buffets and it's like that. It lays there all day.
It's like closing times. Well, it's funny because another table came in, a big party. It was probably 5 or 6 of them. And they were debating because they got there.
They said they had 15 minutes.
Yeah. And the lady's like, well, I'm not going to eat, if I'm not going to shove food in my face as fast as I can. Well, the lady came back and she's like, we will tell you before we take any food off. So they would come back and tell them one last time, like, hey, you guys want to go up and get one more plate and then we're going to close it down. So I thought that was really nice of them that they could come back.
So yeah, we actually had some really good places we ate in Myrtle Beach, and we'll talk about that. We got to do a wrap up on Myrtle. We actually still have a wrap up on all 3. Daytona, we got the numbers for the people that died, the tickets, all that kind of stuff. So we've got numbers for that. They have not posted any of that. We got all this from the Popo. they gave us all the information. It took me a while to get it. So we got that right as we were at Leesburg. So we couldn't do a video because we had Leesburg. So right behind Leesburg was Panama City. Right behind Panama City was
Myrtle Beach.
Myrtle Beach. So it was bang, bang, bang this year. So we really didn't have any time to do catch up to give you guys what's going on. Also, already next week, we are starting the series on Sturgis. We lost a hard drive. My hard drive was 12 terabytes in it, deleted itself. And we got it back. It's at home. They said it's all been rescued. We'll see when we get home. There's all my Sturgis stuff, my stuff I need. What we like to do when we talk, instead of just being a talking head telling you about Sturgis,
Like
oh, you ought to
this.
do this, and you ought to do that, and you ought to do this, and do this. We like to put the pictures up or show the video while we're talking. So you can see, hey, we're talking about the buffalo chip, or hey, we're talking about steel pony, or whatever it might be that we're talking about. We want to show you that because if you've never been there, you're like, well, I don't know what it looks like. Oh, okay, I know what that place is. Or you might be somebody who goes there all the time and go, well, it's like a lot of people say, where's steel pony at? You're blind if you don't know, but you are not paying attention if you're riding by there. It's actually where the old Full Throttle was, where it burnt to the ground. That's where they were.
But some people don't even know where that was.
That's right. It's across the street from the Beaver Bar, which isn't going to be there too much longer. Get your Beaver Bar shirt this year for Sturgis. We're going to have one. We're going to put it in a frame. We got a whole bunch of stuff we're going to get from the Beaver Bar before she closes up.
Yep.
She said, come on down. I'll give you whatever you want. So when we get there she don't get there quite as early as we did. She gets there about a month ahead of time. And we're going to go in there and say, we want this, 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 and this, and this. We'll be back the day after, or we'll come back on Sunday, whatever day you want. I'll be here with the ladder, and we'll take all this stuff down and load it in the truck, and we'll have a whole bunch of beaver stuff in the bar or in the garage shop.
You should get one of the little guides that's upside down.
Yeah, maybe we can get one of those from her. I'd like to have a sign outside, right? I don't know what it takes to get that puppy down. We have a lot of stuff.
Well, the guy that cut down my dad's Meineke sign.
We'll have it strapped to the top of the trailer going down the highway. So we'll see what we have. We're hoping, but we got a lot of neat stuff to hang up in the bar. And that's why I keep saying it's a bar, but in the shop. And nothing's been happening while we're gone. They put the fence up, and that's about it.
I know people keep writing us. They're like, "How is the shop all done yet?" No, we're not
Working
there.
on it.
We're doing it. So
We had a relative that was supposed to do stuff on it, but if I get there and he finished it, I'll be totally surprised. If I get back and he hasn't done anything, that's what I thought.
Nope.
But I have an alarm on it, so I know when it's turned on and off. And it was only turned off one day when we had actually him do something.
He had to go in and get some. His hot water heater exploded.
Well, he also went in and dropped the stuff off for the boat.
Oh yeah.
He took that.
But he came in and got some drywall because his hot water heater exploded and burned a bunch of his drywall.
I wouldn't know if we had any spare pieces we could share. Oh, yeah, it's they're all in behind the boat. Take whatever you want.
Yeah.
I'll probably never use it. We're gonna get 12-foot sheets and do the rest of the shop, and we're not gonna paint. We're not gonna paper it or mud it or nothing. We're just going to shoot it and be good enough for the outside of the shop. Easier to put up.
Oh, I don't know. Cliff Steve, I don't think we've ever been in it. The Pappy Hoyle Campground, do they have nice showers and dressing rooms? Do we know?
Yeah.
Did we go in it?
They're right there by the pool. That's the only ones they got. And we went in there, used the bathroom. It's like first time we went out there, I think.
I don't remember.
What's sad about it is that's a really big place, and I think that's the only shower area they have. But I mean, it's okay. But if everybody's using it, it's a lot of people always complain about the buffalo chip too. Buffalo chip could use some paint, but they were clean. They have a church group that comes in and he gives them money to the church. And both years we used the bathroom quite a few times while we were there last year, even though we didn't stay there. We take a shower every night in the shower house at the buffalo chip and had no complaints. Now we always wear our wetter shoes for taking a shower. That's anywhere, even at the high-end campground, even at Kathmandu, that's probably got the cleanest bathrooms that we've ever seen at a campground. And because they're cleaning them as soon as you get out, they're cleaning them again. And so we still wear them. I don't trust anybody's funky feet.
So Robert Perry said he's going to Sturgis this time for the first time, and he booked a spot at Kickstands.
Okay.
That's a nice
Kickstand's a pretty neat place. Are you doing an RV, or are you going to stay down in their boondocking area? When I say boondocking, it's dry camping. Kickstand's a neat place.
Oldest Sturgis biker campground. Probably the city park, but that you can't park there anymore.
I would say it's probably the Buffalo Chip. They've been there now 42 years. I don't know anything else that's been there longer.
I mean,
we
some
could
of those
check
little ones like that rest and ride, and
I don't know. I don't think any of those were there before.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think anything on the 79 was down that road. So in Sturgis, it's like the Sturgis RV Park, that's newer. All the buildings are really nice and new. So that hasn't been there a long time. Kathmandu, it's probably been around 20 years. But I mean, even the house isn't that old that sits on the property. So I don't know. I would say it's probably the Buffalo Chip, but we'll do some checking and we'll ask that because that is an interesting question. What's the oldest campground in Sturgis?
Biker campground.
Yeah, biker campground. I don't know how long Hog Heaven's been there. That's been around a
That's
while.
right
'Cause
behind.
that's old crap there too. Old buildings and stuff that are there. Now it's actually owned by the mining company, but they let them still have the campground there.
Behind Jack Pine Gypsy
Yeah.
racetrack. So that might have been there for a
Yeah,
while.
that might have been there a long time too. I'll have
Robert
to.
Perry says he's bringing his RV. So did
Okay.
you book an hookup spot?
If you got a hookup spot, you're at the top of the hill. There's not any shade there. But what's nice about Kickstands is they have a full restaurant there. They have bands every single night. They got a nice bar there. That's about it.
I don't know, because Michael Ballard isn't as old as Rod.
No.
Cliff C says the Full Throttle Saloon and Pappy Hoyle Campground is the original Sturgis campground. Oh,
No.
maybe they mean,
Happy Hoyle used to be Broken Spokes.
yeah,
That was their campground.
that was
So
Jay Allen's
yes,
campground.
so we know him. We'll ask him.
All right,
he's
yeah,
been
you'll
around a long
probably
time.
know.
Call him up. See if he's there. If he answers the phone.
I'll be staying at the Iron Horse Campground, but camping this time. Tent camping this time. I don't have my glasses on.
Iron Horse is the one that's out on the 79.
Yes.
That's if you get back in the back where the trees are at, they've got a lot of shade. If you've got tent camping, and there's even people say the Buffalo. Now, the only one that doesn't have any shade whatsoever is Steel Pony has no shade. Happy Hoyle has no shade out there. There's not anything unless you're getting shade from the trailer next to you. Tents or anything, there's nothing out there for shade. What else would I say that doesn't have any shade at all?
That probably
that
drag pipes.
Yeah, they don't have it. Oh, the place we stayed at before on top of the hill.
Oh yeah, a big rig RV.
They have no shade at all either there.
At the top of the hill.
A lot of big rocks. So call Jay Allen.
Give me a call.
Yeah, call him. Hey, how the heck have you been? How was it?
Racing.
No, he probably did Tennessee motorcycle music thing. Tell me you got a question for him tonight. If you could spare a few seconds to answer a question. No, he's an old time Sturgis person. Do you know what the original the oldest existing one now? I'm not worried about a campground. It wasn't because it really was the city park. Where the water and all that is that was the original place everybody stayed. But I'm thinking the question is, what is the original one that's still there?
Oh, every time. What did Casey say? I have an old Easy Riser magazines with the pinups of the Chip in the mid 70s. Nothing but tents.
So as I said, Rod started back was 42 years ago when Rod started. Call Rod. He'll know. He's lived there his whole life.
Yeah.
Somewhere on the live, we need a question from the expert. Who as a YouTuber have all these great influence people? We got their phone numbers that we can call and ask these great. If he doesn't answer, call what's her name?
Marilyn.
Marilyn would know too. There he is.
Hello, how are you doing?
So we got him on the phone. So right now we have Rod from the Buffalo Chip on the phone. She's going to ask the magic question.
Can I just ask you a real quick question? Is your campground the oldest campground in Sturgis for bike rallies? Yours is the oldest? Okay.
There you go.
We thought so.
We're live.
We're on the live. And
people were asking.
Okay, because we're on the live and people was asking, and that's what we said. We said, well, let's confirm it. Okay, I'll let you go. Bye-bye.
So there it is. The Buffalo Chip is the oldest campground in the Black Hills of Sturgis. So there you go. We got it right from the owner of the chip. So, which I kind of thought that because when we talked to him last year, a couple years ago, we did the 40th. Now it's his 42nd.
42nd.
It will be this year. And so 42 years is a long time to be doing. Now the rally's been around 50, is it 58 years this year?
Since 37. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
80 something.
Yeah,
83rd,
85th.
I think it's the same as Daytona. I think it's
whatever
83rd.
my it's 83rd, I think it is. So things have been going on, but see, for a long time, it was the park. Everybody stayed in the park, smoking dope, drinking beer,
Riding bikes.
shooting up whatever else they could find. And that was, until the city finally said, that's it. Throw everybody out of the park, no more park. Still get people down there every now and then taking them a creek bath out there.
Well, that's what somebody else said. It was so hot. He was in his boxers in the creek down there.
We drove up there before to do a video.
It might have been him we saw.
There were some naked guys down there.
He said he
taking a
has
shower.
boxers on.
Yeah.
So Glenn says, staying at kickstands in our RV, supervise only the first weekend. Is that what it says? Supervise?
I can't see. I have no glasses.
I don't either. Here, put your glasses out there.
So if you got an RV and the full hookups, you're kind of in the sun. The other choices you can take.
Supervise only the first weekend. I don't know. Is his wife going home after the first weekend? I don't know. My RV was a hammock between two trees in the old CSYD.
City Park.
I guess. I don't know. So that's pretty cool.
But yeah, Sturgis is, no matter what anybody says, we've been to a lot of rallies. We're never going to make it to these little rallies that are 2 or 3 days long. We'd love to go, but it's just expense doesn't justify it. And we wish we could, like Ohio Bike Week. We might eventually make it there in the next year or so. Just once again to say we've been there, done that. And
in the old days. In the old days.
And there's still people like that. We've seen, where we were at a campground we went and they just had a hammock. Was it the Buffalo Chip?
No, it was just recently.
That we seen.
I think it was at the state park.
No, it was at Cackleberry. We rode around the back there, back in the trees. There's a guy had a hammock back there.
Yeah.
And it was over there.
It was at the state park too, but I think that was just for the day. It was out where the picnic area was. My wife was only there the first week and she has never been to a rally. I figured that's what that meant when he said it was only supervised the first weekend.
So Sturgis is a great time. And the idea with Sturgis is that people always say, well, it's not the way it used to be. Yes, it is.
It's what you make it.
That's right. There's still places you can stay for free. You can put your tent up or bring your RV. You can park on federal property for free. You could go down to Walmart and buy your beer, or you could haul your beer from wherever you bought it cheap at, Sam's, or wherever you buy your beer from.
Bring your peanut butter and jelly and a loaf of bread.
Back then they didn't do a whole lot. They did some riding. I've talked to some of these guys that used to be coming in the Sturgis, 40, 50 years ago, and they said they don't remember any bars even being in town. And they pretty much hung out there the whole time. And it was just a good fellowship time. And that is in Sturgis. And we're going to show you this year in Sturgis how many people actually do this every year. And some of them are up to over 40 years. They've been coming to the chip every year. And some of those guys ride their bike in and they never start their bike until the day they leave. And you're going to see that and you're going to think, I don't get it. That's the part you do. You don't get it. There's too many people that come to Sturgis, which I see it on our Facebook page, everything. Oh, the bands suck. Oh, I can't believe that's what they have. Oh, they got $30 hot dogs. Oh, wah. If you're coming for the bands and you're coming for the $30 hot dogs, you came to the wrong rally. You ought to go down to LA or Las Vegas or
Disneyland.
Wherever you want to go. And you can have all that fun like that. But if you want to come and have some great time, and we show you all these places. There's places right on Main Street. You can get a decent meal at a decent price and get a beer for $3. Get a mixed drink for $5.
Yeah.
You don't know it's not down at One-Eyed Jack's. But I mean, if you go into a place and they're charging you a fortune for a hot dog or it's $12 for a mixed drink, why are you even buying it? If they put the drink on the table and told me it was $12, I'd say, take it back. I'm not paying that for it. You should have told me before I walked in the door. Like we went to a restaurant the other day. There were 6 of us, and they told us right off the bat, 20% gratuity. I want to let you know before we serve you. That's the house rule. My thing is, I might have gave you more of a tip, but in this case, when you make me put a tip on, I don't give any more. You get that no matter how good.
Because they already had that on there, and then they still got a line for a tip. So they want the 20%.
If you charge me,
you can pay a little.
If I like to give a tip based on my service, and if I get really good service, I don't mind giving an extra up and above. But if I don't get really good service, which we had a good service, and she probably would have got more. But in this case, once you put that on a menu, I don't go anymore.
Well, just like when you have a party of 6 or more. I mean, if the girl's really busting, or the guy really busting their butt and getting everything out and doing all that, and then sometimes I'll still give them.
So what's the difference? You've got a party of 6, and then the other guy's got 3 tables with 6 people on them. What's the
2+6.
difference? What's the difference? It's the same. But it's just a way for, I don't know. I don't know why restaurants do it. We both worked in restaurants when we were young.
First jobs.
It didn't make, yeah, you have, if you have a big table, you have more stuff to keep track of. But in the long run, if you work all night and you serve 100 people meals, and if you served all 100 at one time, I'd rather serve all 100 at one time and get bust my butt and get it done and sit
Get
around the
over
rest of the
with.
night and do nothing.
So Lifer Nave 33. It's called Woody's, and during the day it's in the amphitheater area. They have dollar hot dogs and dollar beers, and it's called Woody's.
We're going to show you where that's at because we didn't know where it was at.
We thought it was by Bikini Beach, but they said it's in
We've
the
never seen it.
amphitheater.
We are going to show you at the Buffalo Chip, and we'll get it. This will be way before the Buffalo Chip ever opens.
Yeah.
We will show you where that's at. But it's
Always
not
amazing.
during. It's
That's
not
right.
during the concerts.
I had a friend that she always used to say, you can get happy in the same pants you got sad in. And the same thing. You can ride to Sturgis and be happy and have a good time, or go there and complain about everything that's
And that's
there.
what I said. Every rally is what it is, and sometimes, sometimes it's not. Just like last year, it was really hot. I mean, we still had, even though it was hot, we had a good time. Now we weren't staying in a tent though,
That
but
would have
we
been
just
my
left somebody that actually they're older and they still do a tent all the time. And that's what they said. I was talking about the sun and all that, and he said the same thing I said was, if you're in your tent when the sun is up and it's hot in your tent, you probably shouldn't have came to the rally because
be out doing stuff.
yeah, if it, which I granted, that's what we had done is years ago we talked to one of the girls at work at one of the bars, and she had to work at night, so she had, by the time they closed down and they count their money, I think she was at the full throttle, but it's at the old one. By the time she counted the money down and all that, and back to the campground, slept in a tent. It was 3 a.m. By 5 a.m. when the sun came up, her tent rose to about 100 degrees. She said she didn't have a thermostat, but she just said there's no way to sleep in it, so she had to get up. So she only got a couple hours of sleep every single night. So that's kind of the sucky part. But I mean, I also hear people that go to Sturgis and spend 3 or 4 days and they never go to bed at all. They actually don't stay anywhere.
They're just there.
And we've seen some last year like that. I'm like, where you guys staying at? Nowhere. Well, how long are you here for? 3 days. You're not staying anywhere. We can sleep and get home. I'm like, okay. Good for you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're a party here.
So Tara's on. She said she's looking forward. This is her first trip to Sturgis too.
Yeah. So we're going to give you guys a lot of stuff. And you can also go back and look at playlists, and there's a lot of the same stuff we're going to talk about again, but we always like to refresh it because something new could have arrived or something new could be happening. Like, for instance, we got some great news coming up, which if you watched the video last year, right when we left, we talked about Black Hills Harley. Well, it did get bought out by the Sonic Group. They also own a lot of NASCAR tracks. I'm looking for a lot of excitement this year at Black Hills Harley, but they took all the power lines out. So we're going to get some pictures of that, and we're going to be posting those maybe during the interview that we have with him. But they're going to have more vendors than ever on their lot. And it's going to be
a lot more
and
room.
the lot's going to be more even now. The rows will be better because they had to go around those telephone poles and stuff. So when we heard that last year, and I flew the drone over it, and I kind of showed you guys what they were moving. And because they were already there, they already had ran the new lines around. They just had to take the poles out and cut those hills down. And so when we talked to him today, he said that's all done. So they're really excited. So he's going to come on and tell you guys all the great stuff that they've got planned for. We're getting down to, it's almost 70 days away. Getting really quick. And if you come for the first weekend, which is when Black Hills Harley's opens up theirs, which you said is July 30th.
30th, I believe.
And
30th or 31st.
Saturday and Sunday, they open up already with their vendors. They have almost all of them are in place.
They usually say 75%.
Yeah, most of them are all there.
And 29th, is it that Saturday?
Yeah.
So it'll be the 29th.
29th of July. So that already starts the rally. And a lot of the vendors start opening up then already. So that's really a great time even that first week is a great time to come out, and people are starting to do that. We're seeing a lot more people come in that first weekend now, that first week versus the second week. A lot of people will they'll get there the first, like maybe the 30th, 31st of July, get there and then leave maybe on the 6th or 7th of August and not stay all the way to the end of the rally. So, because people always say that, what's the best part of the rally? Well, Daytona's the same way. Daytona, the best part of Daytona is the first weekend. Myrtle Beach, it's actually the second weekend is the best weekend. Here for Sturgis, it's the first weekend. It's the big weekend. That's where the biggest bands are going to be there. The biggest
The fourth,
name.
fifth, sixth.
Yeah, that's the biggest time of everything going on. You know, the city's got their. I think their party starts at 3 o'clock on. Is it their Friday too? The Thursday.
Who's?
The city's
It's
grand opening.
Friday.
And I think they said their party starts at 3. And then she's going to be
Yeah.
on, and we're going to have her come on. Tammy is her name. She's the director for the event, and she's going to come on in about a week, 2 weeks, and we'll have her. We're not going to have anybody live because we want to just make sure they're really good interviews, and we're going to re-edit them.
And our time difference is so different, and a lot of
Want to go
have
home?
things to do, and yeah, want to go home and different do it. So Glenn says he's heard that Dixon's flannel retail store is opening in Sturgis.
We heard that too.
It's on our Facebook page.
that's
If you
right.
look,
So one of our subscribers told us about it, gave us the lowdown on it, that they had gotten it through when we went back and looked for it, it's not there.
I can't.
So we ended up
We called the
getting,
chamber. We called the city.
and so what we're hearing is, and I believe this because it came from there's 2 owners that actually own the company. And
One's Danny Dixon.
And we actually have his email, and somebody wrote him and said that
We'd like
he
to
would be
interview him.
willing to talk to us before Sturgis, but to give him a little more time because not everything is dotted on the line yet. He actually is buying property out by the chip. So this is really exciting to have somebody come in. So it's name of the company is
Dixon Flannel.
yeah, Dixon
Incorporated.
Flannel, and it's all American made stuff, and they're going to be open this year just during the rally.
The
But-
4th through the 14th.
But I believe they're buying a building on Main Street. I think you actually got this. Did you get the building number? What street it's on?
It's on First and Main, and it's where years ago Progressive used to be in it. It's the old bank building.
Oh, he bought that. That's a sharp building.
So,
Because there was nothing in there
and
this
he
last year.
said then it's going to be open after this rally. It'll be open.
2024.
Yeah, 2024 will be open Memorial Day to Labor Day. So it'll just be a seasonal store.
Yeah. So it'll be really neat, and he's gonna have a house there too. He's gonna build out there. So that's really exciting to have somebody. I love American made stuff, and to have that, it'll be great to have Black Rifle Coffee come out there. You got to get a hold of some of these
And
guys.
9 Line.
And 9 Line that does the t-shirts, all American made t-shirts too. They'd be really great to have. Those would be 2 good companies to have out there in Sturgis. We gotta give them a call. We know the guys from 9
9
Line,
Line.
but they're friends with the guys from Black Rifle.
Yeah.
So maybe they can all get together, and they ought to get a shop out there.
Because the Dixon Flannel is all American made too. So
That's
that's
right.
pretty cool.
So it's really neat. And so one of our subscribers told us about it. So we put it on our Facebook page first. And we did a short on it the other day too, telling you some breaking news for Sturgis. And we want to give you, and it's neat. It's no matter what anybody says about Sturgis, it's one of a kind rally. And when people just, which we always love when we go to Daytona, because they always say we're the world's largest motorcycle rally. And I don't know.
Even
if
when we went to talk to the Ormond police, the first thing he said when he sat down, because he knew we'd been to Sturgis, what we did is I sent him a video of the Sturgis police chief talking. And so when he sat down, he's like, well, I just want to let you know that, our rally down here, Daytona, is a much larger rally and way more spread out than Sturgis is. So we have to do X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah.
we didn't want to say no more to him.
I versus bubble. I'm like, this is nothing.
This covers 3 states.
So anyway,
Sturgis does.
if you need to know where there's a vendor, call us and we'll see where they're at.
And we have a lot of connection. And there could also be vendors that are in weird places. Like we don't know all the vendors. We don't really have access to the Full Throttle Saloon. Michael Ballard he likes money, and he's always trying to get it. Every year he's trying to get a TV channel again. He's trying to get videos again.
He will talk to us, just not on camera.
Yeah.
And he's talked to us.
So we don't have any
like he blows us
we
off.
don't have any access to him. He doesn't give us his phone number like Rod does, and a lot of it. We got phone numbers for just about everything in Sturgis, so we don't have a problem calling people to say, hey, what's going on here, what's going on there, and they can let us know. But the Full Throttle is about the only place. A lot of people say that. Why don't you do the Full Throttle like you do? We do go to Full Throttle. We film stuff, but we don't get any behind the scenes because they don't give us any permission to do so. We have some security we know there, and we have other people that are vendors that are there that will get us in no matter what. They even said if they're even making a TV show, we'll get on the property. Don't worry about it. And we're like, okay,
So David, where are you going to be that you need tires for your Indian? Because the best place to go is, I guess, JMP Cycles sells tires for your Indian. Right. So JMP Cycles, and they will give you during the
Sale price.
rally, the sale price, whatever they're having on tires.
In their magazine.
And yeah, so
See out there?
yeah, the T's out there. So that's where you need to go to get your tires. That usually has the best price. If you're not at a rally, I don't know what to tell you. I guess you could order them and they could send them to you, and then you could have somebody locally put them on. But every time we've gotten a tire, we've gotten them from JMP Cycles, and that's been the best price on tires. And there are a few different places selling tires there at different rallies. Just sometimes you get what you pay for. So just I'll leave it at that. I love it when Bob mentions peanut butter and jelly. It's a perfect meal, and at the same time, yep, I figure I have a few Sturgis in the cabin. I know. And that's what we always do. I mean, you can't go wrong with peanut butter and jelly, and it's always there, and
Doesn't go bad.
it's cheap. Yep, doesn't go bad usually. That's the bread
You don't need
mold.
ice.
Yep. So, and that's what people say. It's too expensive. It's too expensive, and
You know, you go to
can
somebody
make it.
like, if you guys watch, what's his name? Scotty.
Scooter Tramp Scotty.
If you watch him, he goes to Sturgis with just about nothing. And he lives off of nothing. And he does work, even though people think he doesn't work. If you watch his channel, I don't know if we don't watch him a lot. We've met him and we know him now. And he's a great guy. But he actually works a day or 2 or 3 days at the rally in one of the leather shops. And that's how he makes his money. He's got to have money for gas. And that's how he gets to the next rally or the next place he's going to, is by doing, he works enough to make the money he needs to do whatever his next adventure is.
Yeah.
And so that is one of the places, which he wasn't there the first year we talked about it, but he's there now. I'm not saying he found it from us, but it's Camp 5, which is just outside of Deadwood.
In
You can
between
stay there
Sturgis and
for
Deadwood.
14 days for free. Last year they actually put a porta potty out there, which I was
so
shocked.
How about that?
Probably somebody was pooping in the woods too much, and that's what they thought. The bears are running away with it.
When them bears out there.
So and there's a lot of them. There's 4 out in Deadwood. There's some up on the hill. You can stay for free, and you can actually go out to Rapid City right before you get to Bearzilla. There's the campground office there.
Bear Country, I think it's called. Bearzilla. The sister store is in Arizona, so it's called, I think, Bear Country.
And right before you get to that, there's a forestry department there, and you can go in there and tell them what section you want. They'll give you a map and show you all the places you can camp for free.
Oh, that's cold.
That's a lot.
Gonna be, and Ontario's it's 44 degrees today, and it's gonna get down to 29.
We're getting down to 65 tonight and about 80 tomorrow. You got a little bit of rain today.
Oklahoma City.
Oh, Oklahoma, where the cows are.
He's been singing that since we got in here. Bear or bear?
Bear.
Ah, bear.
I took a picture of a bear today.
Did you? Where? You didn't pass no bears. There is a couple bears by Roachford now. Oh, really? What was it they said they came and got? Oh, that was here.
There was a bear. He was coming after me. What did he sound like?
We didn't go past Louisiana.
No, we're on the
40.
We're on the 40.
Instead of the 10.
Yeah, we're going almost to the 66, Highway 66. It'll be coming out tomorrow.
66. There is a couple of bears by Roachford now. The Pasta Corral lady, was it the lion? What did they take? Remember her dad helped take the last one? Oh, no, it was the bears. So her dad and the property they own out there at the Pasta Corral.
It was a black bear.
They ended up taking all the bears, and I don't know where they took them, up to Yellowstone or something.
Yeah.
And took them all up there. And she said she was all upset. She was a little girl then. But they've slowly, I guess, migrated back, and now they said they've got bears again.
I put a picture on
a couple at Roachford now.
There was some there was cougars and spearfish right downtown.
Wow.
I had a picture. I put it on our Facebook page that showed just to let people know you're in the wild. You got to remember that, and especially if you've got a tent and if you're in a big campground like the Buffalo Chip or most of the other campgrounds like that, you're not going to have trouble. But if you get to some of these campgrounds, you're back in the woods and stuff.
Be careful.
You leave food inside your tent. There's a good chance you might come back and there might not be any tent left.
They can get into, even if they smell it in a car, they'll rip a car. Yeah. Gotta be careful. Bears are
Because
nothing
like
to
we
mess
have
with.
it up in Las Vegas, you go up there, you stay in a cabin or even stay in a car. They got metal boxes that you put your food in, you put a padlock on it, and then they can't get into the padlock box. But they said if you leave it in your car, some of the bears are strong enough to rip your damn door off your car. If you take a convertible, it won't be a convertible.
Nope,
It'll be a
it'll be-
permanent convertible.
Yeah. You won't have a soft top
It'll be a
anymore.
real it'll be a real rag top.
Yeah. Hey, there's Gary. How you doing? He's he's got blueberries now. He always gives us lots of goodies when we see him. He gave us some taters and some zucchini when we were in Panama City, and he sent me a picture of this big old basket of blueberries, and I'm like, oh my goodness. I sent him a drooly emoji. I was drooling for the blueberries. Carry a bear spray,
Yeah.
no knife.
Yeah, and you ain't gonna stab a bear very good.
Yeah.
Their fur's a little tough, like an elephant.
Even to get close enough to stab them, I'm
And
sure
they got
they
the
would.
big claws.
Not a good. Don't bring a knife to a bear fight. How about that? Are you interviewing Sturgis law enforcement this year? We
Yes.
will when we get up there.
We may
We should probably call him and
we
get him on.
may get an interview with him before because there's some talk about when we talked to him in October, when we stopped by and chatted with him a few minutes. They may be enforcing the open container law that if you have an open container and
It's
it's
not
not in a
beer or
cup,
wine.
it's not
or
in a cup, it's not in one of our cups, then you're going to get a ticket this year. Before they made them dump it out, and they've been doing this now for 2 or 3 years. And he said we're about tired of doing it. People should, but the problem is these bars down there should take responsibility. If you're in any other town, anywhere in the United States,
When you walk
and
outside with a drink,
they won't even let you out the front door.
Right.
You got to dump it before you walk out the door, whatever it is. Well, that's what these bars all need to hire in Sturgis is they need to have people at the front doors and tell people because you can't put mixed drinks, you can't put tequila, you can't put whiskey. These cups are only beer and wine only. Somebody said, "Can I pour my own beer in it?" Yes, you could. A beer's a beer.
yeah.
But the idea of the cups were supposed to be is that's why they have a curfew on at 10 o'clock. All the businesses on Main Street and around there all close up by 10 o'clock. The bars are open. You should be in a bar, not out on the street walking around
If you're
drinking.
drinking.
And people don't understand that. And a lot of this is just common sense. What the city didn't want is they didn't want people hanging down there at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, drinking out of that cup all night long out there. And because that'd be some more trouble that they've got. This way at 10 o'clock, you go into the bar and finish your drink, or you dump it out, and that's the end of it. And they have enlarged it now. And I think the line now goes all the way over to the grocery store, where before you couldn't cross Junction, and the other way you couldn't go over. So they've opened it up really far now. So it'd be good to maybe we'll call him and see if he'll do one for us too. And we can ask him some of these questions and have you guys ready for when you get down to Sturgis. If you want to come down to Main Street, some people like Main Street, some people do not. And that's fine because it's not for everybody. When we first went the first few years, we rode down Main Street, but we really didn't. We never went in any of those bars. Didn't know anything about any of them, and I never ate in any of them. We didn't really go to Sturgis for the bars. We went to Sturgis.
Go see Full Throttle.
Yeah, we hung out in the Full Throttle where we hung out at.
So
The old one.
I just read it and I can't. On Big Take 100 says watch out for the big potholes on the 40 in between Williams and Kingman.
Somebody
We'll
was
be going that way.
Somebody was saying that the other day. They said there's a couple big holes up there in Sturgis too on the highway on the 90 up there.
What's the next project for the shop? Finish it.
Well, the things that I have to get done soon is I have to get the bathroom built and I have to finish the wiring. Those are the two things that once half the shop is all wired up, it's done. So I got to get the other side done, which is going to run the furnace and the air conditioner outside, and it's going to run the power on the other side of the shop. So the problem was I couldn't get. It's a whole big problem. I didn't get the boxes that I wanted for inside, and so we got to pull a box outside. We wanted to have. What I really wanted to have was a 200 amp box inside, but they didn't make an inside 200 amp box. There's a whole problem with all that. I really wanted 400 amp service. I couldn't get that either. You get the service, just couldn't get a box to put it through. So we ended up having to put 125 amp boxes. So I have two of those now. One side is to run in the office, the shop part that we're going to be doing the work and stuff in and doing videos in. and the other side is the regular garage with cars and boats and all that kind of junk will be sitting in.
Oh my.
And so that's the big thing there. We haven't really even seen the whole fence yet. I got a couple pictures of my fence, but I haven't got it all the way around yet. So we're hoping when we get back, we've had a lot of rain. So I'm hoping the rocks have all settled now. It'll be hopefully
Down really good.
and we'll see if I need to have any more rocks brought in. And then we'll have to get the trencher over there and have them trench for my next power line to go in the building. The box is already mounted up. I got it all ready to go. I just got to run the wires into it and then run the wires. And then we got to frame out. We've got the bathroom rough framed. We haven't put all the back wall's done, but we have to put the plumbing all in and the water heater and all that kind of stuff.
Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. That's where we are.
Oh, Oklahoma, where the cows.
He's making up his own song.
They do funny things to the pigs.
Ay, ay, ay. Oh. I couldn't remember what the next verse was.
That's why I said it must have been, oh,
No,
Oklahoma, where the cows. You funny things to the pigs.
Anyway, that's where we are. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
So that's kind of the wrap. I don't know how long we've been on.
Over an hour.
How
Hour
many
and
people we
15
got on?
minutes. 57.
Oh, not bad. About average. And so yeah, so not a whole lot on. We just wanted to kind of come on and give you a little bit of heads up about that.
What's coming up?
Yep, tell you that we got a bunch of neat stuff happening starting next week. Either Monday or Tuesday, we'll start our series on Sturgis. You know, we'll do everything from Tam will show you how to pack. You know, we used to ride the Sturgis. We rode the Sturgis probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 times. Rode about one time mostly we rode about 1,500 miles there each way. And the last time we rode 2,200 miles one way. And that was quite an adventure. And did that the first time she ever rode a bike a long ways. Did it on her own. Only almost hit a guardrail once. Other than that, she did really well. It was after accident, so did pretty well. Didn't complain much.
One time we stopped on this thing and I went to put the bike down and it was like I thought I was going to go over and you grabbed me. And I was stopping. Yeah. If I can go on a bike, just don't stop.
So yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit about that.
Yes, we are.
Talk about campgrounds and stuff like that's there. Talk about the bars. What kind of entertainment? Most of the bands have all been announced now. I don't know if the Chips did the last Friday and Saturday bands, but pretty much Friday is out there. It's already pretty well publicly on Facebook pages. It's already been talking about that this band's going to be playing. So it's not. I'm not going to say nothing because they really haven't officially announced it, and we don't want to get in trouble with the Buffalo Chips.
I think that's on all their banners that they were having people put up. They said they're the ones that probably leaked it. But anyway, before you all leave, don't forget to give us a thumbs up.
Appreciate that. And if you would like to sponsor us, we are always looking for sponsors. We have a special deal, which actually we have some YouTubers that are going to want us to sponsor one of our videos, so you can sponsor a video.
Sponsor the Legends Ride.
Yeah. So they picked it out and want to know if they could both do it together. And I'm like, first I was like, I don't know. Then I thought, what the heck, I don't care. So what basically we say is, hey, today's video, let's say McDonald's paid us. Today's video is sponsored by McDonald's, and in the middle you get 15 seconds of whatever
blah, 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 blah,
that you want us to
McDonald's.
say about it. And then we at the end we say we want to thank McDonald's for sponsoring us today for our contribution. So the idea is there's a lot of expenses to this stuff, and we're not making a lot of money doing this. Not really making any money doing this. And I show people all the time what little bit of money we make. We just don't get a lot of views if it
doesn't have anything to do with my motorcycle rally.
These rallies have not been as good as we've had in the past. I think I got one of the ones getting close to 10,000, I think. But I mean, it kind of sucks. Last year, that's what happened. Myrtle Beach ended up being my best rally for the East Coast last year. I had more views in Myrtle Beach than I had.
Back.
Yeah, that's why we went ahead and booked. And if I would have known what I known today, I probably wouldn't have booked Myrtle Beach for next year. But I'm just, but you could have an off year, and that can happen. And it could be the rain, could be Mother's Day. Next year, Mother's Day is way away from it. It's not going to be the same weekend anymore. There's some racing motorcycles out there, wrapping up their bikes. You should have to wear helmets here in Oklahoma because you guys don't have helmets on. You guys do.
So, first of all, we have a 2018 ATC aluminum trailer, toy hauler, travel trailer. So it's not a fifth wheel, it's just a pull behind. And it's a toy hauler. So that's what kind of trailer we have. And then this guy wants to know of any news on racing the last weekend in Sturgis.
Doesn't look good. What we heard today, we'll have a little more information in about a week. But at this moment now, it looks like it may not happen. What we're finding out is because of safety and all this, they have to really build a lot of barricades and stuff like this up. And the problem is they would be building this all on Friday night after it closed at 2 a.m. So they're thinking the girl that's in charge of it, another guy's taking over for it, that is running it
For the race.
because they got a lot of sponsors and stuff that are going to be involved. We'll have to get a hold of him and see what it is. So by next week, we will. If not, we're going to call the mayor, and we got his phone number too, and find out what's going on. If it's still on the books, if it's been scratched for the year, what's going on. So I was kind of excited about it. And the city announced they were going to do it.
Yeah.
But so we'll have to see.
And Sandoval doing another run now. Are you on those reruns on YouTube now?
Yes. And what's sad about it is
it's taken a lot out of him.
It's not. It really makes. It was a bad decision for them to move. You know, it's great they have this big giant Pappy Oil campground now.
No, it says Adam Sandoval.
What are you talking about? I thought you were talking about.
No, I said Adam Sandoval doing another run now. Are those reruns on YouTube? I think he's doing a daily vlog or trying to. Adam Sandoval doing 120.
Yes. So no, his videos that he's putting up are the current videos. He doesn't do very many. He does a lot of shorts, is what he's putting up. But he does do a video. He ended up not doing a video when we rode with him the other day. But the videos he's coming up, if you look on there, it tells you it was done like an hour ago or 12 hours ago. He put the video up. But I don't think it's any rerun. But I mean, I don't look at every video. We don't have time to watch every video.
Sometimes if one of his old videos got popular or somebody watched it again, it might pop up on yours.
What happens is if you're watching a bunch of his videos that he's putting out, you're going to get ones from before. So I get that. I get people still sending me comments for the Antifa that showed up in Sturgis. They're like, wow, I can't believe they're, yeah. They're like, they looked at it and they're like, wow, I can't believe they were there last week. Okay. Thanks for watching.
So AS Pipes and Nicole Beckray just closed on their house. So that's pretty cool.
We have a new resident in Sturgis.
Oh no, they're in Minnesota, I think.
Oh, I thought they were. No, they're not the ones about the house in Sturgis.
Oh, they were in Minnesota, and I think they moved to Delaware, Maryland, around there. I don't know. They didn't like it, and they moved back. So they must have got another house now. So that's pretty cool. And Sandoval, there's in Oklahoma. Go see him. We've been to his campground twice. Yeah. So, and we just already.
He's not there now anyway. He's on his right.
Yeah, we just passed.
He may not make it. He is.
Pray for him.
He is really wore out. Even when we caught him, he just was in the. I don't know.
20th. So he had 100 more to stops to make.
And I'm like, and he's like, I said, is it taken on? You can watch a video. He actually comments on it. I'm like, how is it? You know, you're older now. Is it wearing on you? He's like, oh yeah. If you watch any of his things, they caught him. Somebody took a picture of him sleeping in a chair at a dealership. He actually sat down to answer comments, and he closed his eyes for a few minutes and he was out. So yes, and then he put a video out the other day saying this is a way harder, which it is. It's been, geez, how long has it been?
Oh, about 10 years. I don't know if it's been that long.
But I mean, he's probably late 40s now, and you're getting up there in years, and it's tough. I'm eating a spring chicken anymore.
Good night, Glenn.
Not a spring chicken anymore, and
so hopefully
he'll make it through and not have, you know. But that's what's bad about it. And I always talk about that when you're on a ride. Doesn't matter how experienced you are. Don't push yourself. You know, if you get to the point where your eyes are starting to close, or you know, it doesn't take much, especially on a motorcycle, to wobble and you're down. And
we've been doing that coming from. We stayed up and talked too late one night, and then got up the next morning because we had an appointment to go to. So we went and did that. So we had to get up early. We got 4 hours of sleep. So he drove probably 4 or 5 hours, and he's like, we got to pull over. So we just stopped at a rest stop, laid down a couple hours, and got back up and got back on the road. But yeah, it's not worth it to try to drive and fall asleep.
Especially on a motorcycle, because it's just close your eyes for a few seconds, you'd be gone. Bike could fall, hit a pothole. Like I had it the other night, we almost dropped the bike coming into the campground, our camping spot. There's a big ditch there. And when I hit it, I didn't see it. When I hit it, the handlebars turned sideways.
I almost ran into the truck.
And I'm like,
I had just gotten off, or had I?
No, I wasn't off yet. I said get off after I stopped the bike. I said, get off. I was like, I wasn't quite sure what I
Key
had.
West. Wow, that's a ride. They're leaving Minnesota and going all the way down to Key West tomorrow. Cool.
In one day.
I probably not one day.
That's a long ride.
Doing a photo shoot in Sturgis with the biker chick. With one sexy biker chick? Oh, am I doing one? Are you doing? Yeah, I don't know. I haven't talked to her yet, but we probably could. Because you were going to go last year with me, weren't you? But you weren't in town yet, I don't think.
Yeah.
Did I do one last year? Was it me and
Yeah.
Judy again?
Did you
Remember,
do
she
it?
didn't do as sexy of clothes.
Yeah, I think she did it last year with you again.
It was Judy. Because I think you weren't in town yet, and then there was another girl I was thinking about, Diana.
Because you don't want to wait too long because the store gets too busy.
Yeah.
So we have to do it within the first few days when she gets
Because
open.
you don't stay as long as I thought. I think they also go to Glencoe. And I think you guys only stay that first weekend, don't you? I think you guys are only there 3 or 4 days.
Wednesday, but he's gone.
Yeah. I snore in the movie theaters. He won't go to the movies either because he says it makes him tired. When, I don't know, I cannot see.
The eyeballs on.
When tired, park it, yeah. Only 2 things from Oklahoma. What's that? Well,
Oh, Oklahoma with the cows in them.
the Garth Brooks is from here. Carrie Underwood. Reba McEntire.
Who died today?
Tina Turner.
They just announced. She was over in Switzerland.
I'm willing
Couldn't believe
to.
that.
Okay.
We just
Let
drove
me
by
know
a
what day
sign.
you get there, Nicole, and
We
then we'll
just drove
see.
by a sign that said,
Okay, the 38237.
Tennessee, there's a museum for her. I seen the sign 3 times today, and then they announced that she died.
Yeah, right after we
She'd been
passed it.
sick. She was 83.
Lived in Switzerland.
I already said that.
Oh, I couldn't believe that.
Yeah. What the hell she was doing over there? Getting
Probably-
away from Mike.
Well, that and probably money. Probably don't have to pay taxes over there. So 83 to 87. Okay, I'll have to see because 83 is before the rally. The rally
Yeah,
starts on the
Thursday.
4th. So maybe on the 3rd when you get there, we'll have to see.
Thursday or Friday, maybe.
Yeah.
Do it in the morning.
Yeah. Who was that first ever YouTuber who made those sexy girl vids? Did he make lots of money? I don't know who it was. What YouTuber made those sexy girl videos? Girls Gone Wild, but that was on TV, wasn't it?
No, those are videos you bought.
No.
He got sued. Too
I
many
don't know.
underage kids.
I don't know.
The only one we know that makes good money on YouTube that does girl type style of videos is Prime Cut Pro.
An awesome
Yeah,
documentary.
their Prime Cut Pro is up to almost 1 million subscribers. He's doing a pretty good living on what he does, but he does mud runs and all that. But he's got more girls in his video than he does the events. Because he started out doing spring breaks. That's what they originally did. And we've been doing this for a long time. I think it's over 12 years or something he's been doing it. So he's almost at 1 million.
Thanks. We should be home sometime Friday, Saturday, around in there.
So with that, I'm done.
All right. Goodbye. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We really appreciate it.
She's taking her clothes off.
Sorry, no, they won't stay up, stupid scraps.
These bigger boobs.
So anyway, we'll see you all later. And we haven't had videos because we're driving home and been on the road. So thanks for hanging
So
out
if
with
all
us.
goes well, we'll try to we should be able to do a video on Sunday unless the kids come out.
Right. And bring Charlie dog with them. So I get to see Charlie and my kids,
For
half
2
of
weeks.
them.
See Charlie for 2 weeks and on the road we get. And that's why we're not getting much done on this June trip. At
Yeah.
home.
Girls Gone Wild. That's who he said he was talking
Yeah,
about.
that guy ended up going to prison, I think. He ended up
Or
being a
tomorrow
lot of
night.
those girls
Bye, Harley
were
Frank.
underage.
Great night. Thanks, you too.
You learn when you take
Bye,
videos
Clint.
of people like that, you should get IDs. This guy we have that does, well, I'm not going to get into it.
Anyway. Drive safe. We will. Be home in a couple days.
We'll probably do a short tomorrow. I didn't get we didn't get a chance today to do a short. We tried to get a lot of miles. I think we almost did 600 miles today. And we got a late start. We get off as quick as we wanted to this morning. But that was okay. And maybe we did all right time. There was a bad accident out here. Just seen this car. Looked like it was in a demo derby. It wasn't a piece of metal on this white car. She missed it. This white car, there wasn't a spot that wasn't crushed in. So I don't know
Unless
if it flipped
and rolled.
but I mean, the only other car there was, so it looked like it got hit in the back end. And I'm like, I don't know what happened to this car. And well, we seen 2 semis wrecked yesterday.
On the side, yeah, they were flipped over.
One of them, they had a crane digging the ditch out, so I guess the tow truck couldn't pull it out, so they were digging the side of it out. We didn't film any of that. We try not to film crashes. My kids are something bad. So that we're gonna leave you.
Thanks for hanging out with us. Love
Keep watching
y'all.
all the other videos so we keep making some money. And the trick is put your phone on and just let it play. Let it play through the commercials and stuff. We get credit for that. And hit one of the playlist and just let it play. And that'll help
Check
us
it every
out.
once in a while.
And
'Cause
try to do it
you
for this
still
week.
there?
That way we can make some money while we're not doing anything.
Yeah, because we ain't got nothing
We're
going
spending
on.
gas money.
Yeah, we are. But thanks a lot. Love y'all. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see y'all soon.
Bye.
Bye.